Hi everyone, Irish Joker here with the Trauma Center tutorial. This tutorial will be on Kyriaki, the first strain of Guild. I'll mainly be going over how to defeat it in a speedrun, but this is also applicable to those doing a casual play. So when it comes to dealing with Kyriaki, there's a certain rhythm that I like to go through dealing with it. You'll generally want to get into the habit of tool switching really quickly, so I recommend doing the Thrombi operation. Pause this for a moment here. You'll want to more or less when dealing with Kyriaki is first identify all of the immature Kyriaki. So I'll playback of this. So you want to deal with the large lacerations first. As soon as the immature Kyriaki appears, you want to deal with that laceration first. Then use the scalpel to expose it, and then use the gel to treat the Kyriaki. Will more or less make 2 cuts when it shows up. Let it play and show. This small cut over here is what you'll want to gel first, but then leave this cut alone. When Kyriaki jumps out and does these 2 cuts, it's actually invulnerable for a second, so you don't want to use the laser right away. So it's better to just gel this cut here, and it'll help restore the vitals by like at least 1 or 2. Then you can move on to lasering it. Suturing. Suture these cuts first, and then again, ultrasound, scalpel, gel, laser, suture. It's more or less the same process with the mature Kyriaki, ultrasound, gel. I'll replay that again so I can go over it a little bit more slowly. I'll wait for the mature Kyriaki to show up. If you're having trouble trying to keep up with the small Kyriaki, you can also use the gel to slow it down. This also has the added effect of boosting the vitals. Use the ultrasound to identify it, scalpel, gel, laser, suture. Much like the immature Kyriaki, the mature Kyriaki is invulnerable when you expose it with the scalpel, so you want to use the gel to maximize pretty much every second you're operating. I messed up here with the sutures, but it's just best to keep going on with eliminating the mature Kyriaki so it doesn't have time to create another laceration. Generally speaking, each of the Kyriaki operations are the same. The harder ones will have a immature Kyriaki accompanying mature Kyriaki when you expose it. So when that happens, you'll want to eliminate the mature Kyriaki. You want to expose both of them, but eliminate the immature Kyriaki first, and then resume working on the mature Kyriaki. Also, when dealing with the mature Kyriaki, you don't really need to worry about the vitals too much until you're getting down to like around, I'd say around 10 to 15 vitals. But as long as you aren't making any mistakes and you're operating as quickly as possible, you should be able to end most Kyriaki operations with around 1 to 3 vitals. You can also tell where some of the Kyriaki will spawn or will generally be located by the direction of the lacerations they make. So I'm going to rewind this and show you the directions the Kyriaki make. So cuts. Right, so watch for these cuts. See how these 2 cuts went down south? Now the Kyriaki will move up north, or move up to the right, and you can expose them with ultrasound. So these 2 Kyriaki went up towards the left, so they should be in the generally they should be towards the bottom right, but sometimes the Kyriaki will bounce around differently. They generally travel and they generally travel in a linear direction. The mature Kyriaki is more difficult to spot because it doesn't have the linear direction when it first shows up. But once it burrows, you can try and look to see what direction its head burrows in. So when it burrows down that way, it's gonna be moving towards the right. But again, depending on how quickly you're able to suture and deal with the cuts it makes, it may end up in a slightly different location. Yeah, to summarize, you'll generally want to keep the sequence of ultrasound, scalpel, gel, laser, and suture. Just be sure to practice tool switching and you'll have a much easier time dealing with Kyriaki. Thanks for watching, everyone.